Welcome to Golden Bachelor. If you love celebrity news and real entertainment updates, you're in the right place. Their story begins long before the cameras, long before the trending videos, and long before anyone imagined these two souls would collide with the kind of spark usually reserved for romantic movies. Mel and Peg, two people who didn't think love would surprise them again, but love, as always, had other plans. Mel didn't walk into this new chapter searching desperately for anything. He had lived enough life to know that sometimes the best things come when you're simply being yourself. Peg didn't walk in expecting fireworks either. She was radiant, confident, and full of that warm, gentle energy that can calm a room just by entering it. But the moment they saw each other, something shifted. There was no dramatic music, no scripted line, no slow-motion turn, but there was a subtle pause, the kind where two hearts instinctively recognize each other before the mind catches up. Mel would later describe it as a moment that felt strangely familiar, as if he had known her somewhere in another lifetime. Peg said it was more like a funny little spark that made her smile without meaning to. That first interaction was simple, polite, normal, but the kind of normal that feels beautifully right. Mel made a joke, unintentionally, of course, and Peg laughed harder than she expected. His charm wasn't rehearsed, his humor wasn't forced. He was just being Mel, slightly awkward, slightly smooth, and completely genuine. And Peg? She had a laugh that made him straighten his posture and hope he'd get to hear it again. As the days unfolded, they found themselves drifting toward each other naturally, not because the atmosphere told them to, not because others encouraged it, but because their hearts kept guiding them in the same direction. Mel started to notice the little things, the way Peg listened, truly listened, with her eyes, not just her ears. The way she could go from elegant to silly in seconds. The way she made everyone around her feel seen. And Mel noticed him too. The way he softened when someone talked about something meaningful. The way he carried a quiet strength, not to impress, but to protect. The way he looked at her like she was someone he didn't want to lose. One of their most memorable early moments was a conversation that lasted much longer than planned. They talked about everything: favorite memories, future dreams, embarrassing stories neither meant to confess. And somewhere in the middle of it all, they both realized the conversation felt effortless. Mel even joked that he hadn't talked that much in years. Peg replied that she hadn't laughed that much in years. That night, neither of them said anything out loud, but both of them already knew. Something was happening. As more time passed, their connection deepened in a way that surprised everyone, including them. Peg saw through Mel's calm exterior, discovering a heart that had carried so much strength and yet still had room for tenderness. Mel saw in Peg a spirit that was adventurous, compassionate, and beautifully alive. They had moments full of charm, moments bursting with laughter, and yes, a few moments that made everyone else raise their eyebrows in curiosity. Mel would sometimes be caught sneaking glances at Peg when he thought no one was watching. Peg would smile to herself whenever he said something unintentionally adorable. They became each other's favorite part of every day. And then came the moment that would shift everything, the moment that defined their timeline. Mel made a choice, one that wasn't just sweet, it was sincere. He believed Peg deserved something symbolic, something meaningful, something that represented not just affection, but intention. So when he offered her the ring, not as a proposal, but as a promise, it was one of the most heartfelt gestures anyone had witnessed. It wasn't about rushing, it wasn't about pressure, it wasn't even about making headlines. It was about saying, "I'm here, I'm choosing you, I want to see where this goes together." Peg's reaction said everything. Her eyes softened, her breath caught, and suddenly the room felt like it was holding its own heartbeat. This moment didn't seal their story, it expanded it. It became a turning point, a symbol of two hearts slowly intertwining at a pace that felt just right. From that day on, their timeline took on a new rhythm. More laughter, more comfort, more understanding. And yes, more teasing, mostly Peg teasing Mel for his adorable accidental charm, and Mel pretending he wasn't secretly thrilled every time she did. Their connection became the kind people rooted for, not because it was dramatic, but because it was real. Two individuals who had lived enough life to understand what matters most: companionship, laughter, support. A love that feels like home. As the world watched, Mel and Peg continued building something that wasn't just fleeting. Their moments became memories, their conversations became comfort, their smiles became reflections of a growing affection neither planned but both welcomed with open hearts. And now, looking back on their journey, it's clear why people are drawn to them. Their story isn't loud, it isn't rushed, it isn't perfect. It's human. It's warm, it's honest. It's two people choosing each other day by day, moment by moment, with a sweetness that's impossible not to love. Their timeline isn't over, it's only just beginning. Whatever comes next, one thing is already certain. Mel and Peg didn't just meet by chance, they met by chapter, by timing, by the beautiful unpredictability of life. And their hearts were ready. For everyone watching, this story is a reminder that love has no age limit, no expiration date, and no predictable rulebook. When it arrives, sometimes quietly, sometimes playfully, sometimes with a ring that isn't a proposal, but still means everything. If this story has made you smile, feel, or believe in love again, stay close, because Mel and Peg's journey is far from finished, and the best chapters may still be ahead. Thanks for watching Golden Bachelor. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next big story.